Time for questioning. Mr. Clemens, I'm puzzled about something that happened last week, and I'd like you to help me understand why you did what you did. Okay. You have a tough job today. You said you find it very hard to have to prove a negative, but your attorneys have provided documentation to rebut the passage in the Mitchell report about a party at Jose Canseco's house. I don't view this passage as anything central to the issue before us, but it's important that we know if it's true. And your attorneys and you have been very forceful in telling us that the report is wrong. You were not at Jose Canseco's house between June 8th and June 10th, 1998, when the Toronto Blue Jays were playing in Miami. During your deposition, you were asked, could you have been at this house during this time period, June 8th to June 10, 1998? And you answered no. Is that a correct statement?
On the date, sir?
Did you answer no to the question whether you were at Jose Canseco's party?
If you repeat your question, then I can, please.
Well, during your deposition, you were asked, could you have been at his house during this time period, which was June 8th to 10th, 1998? And you answered no. You've given us supporting materials. You provided an affidavit from Jose Canseco that said that you were not at his house during the team party on June 9th. You provided a golf receipt from 8:58 a.m. on June 9th, which showed that at least that morning you were purchasing merchandise at the golf course next to Canseco's house. And you provided excerpts from a baseball broadcast that reported that you were not at the team party. And these came up when several other members asked you about it. It's all very helpful. When the committee took Mr. McNamee's deposition, he had a completely different recollection, as he has today. He had a clear recollection that Mr. Clemens was at Mr. Canseco's home. So our committee staff investigated this issue, and we received conflicting evidence. I'm not surprised by conflicting recollections of a party around 10 years ago. That was really of no special importance. But Jose Canseco thinks Roger Clemens and Mr. Canseco's ex-wife weren't at the party. Mr. Canseco's ex-wife, Jessica Fisher, believes that she was there, and so was Debbie Clemens. Mr. McNamee told us that one key witness who would know whether you were at Canseco's house for that party was your former nanny. And the committee staff asked your attorneys for her name last Friday so we could contact her. We made additional requests for her name and contact information over the weekend. Around 5 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, committee staff made another request and asked your attorneys to refrain from contacting the nanny before the committee staff could speak with her. It wasn't until Monday afternoon that your attorneys provided the nanny's name and phone number to the committee. And it wasn't until yesterday that the committee staff actually spoke with the nanny. Are you aware of all this? Timeline about the nanny?
I'm not sure of all the time frame. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what the nanny said to us when we finally contacted her yesterday was important in several respects. First, she said that she was at Mr. Canseco's home during the relevant time period. In fact, she said that she and Mrs. Clemens and the children stay overnight at the Canseco's. Secondly, she told us she did not remember any team party as described in the Mitchell report. And third, she said that she did remember that you were at that home during the relevant time period, although she didn't know how long you stayed or whether you spent the night with your family. The third point directly contradicted your deposition testimony, where you said you were not at Mr. Canseco's home at any point June 8th to June 10th, 1998. But it's entirely understandable to me. It was 10 years ago. Here's what puzzles me about your actions. We have a transcript of the interview with the nanny, whose name I'm not going to release to protect her privacy. But in this transcript, she says that on Sunday, this last Sunday, you called her and asked her to come to your Houston home. She had not seen you in person since 2001. But after you called, she went to your home on Sunday afternoon. And I'd like to read a portion of the transcript of the committee interview. Question, when you said you didn't remember a party, what did he say? Answer, he says, you know, the reason you don't remember that party is because I wasn't there. He said, because I know that he was playing with Jose. Question. So did he ask you, do you remember a party, and then you said you did not remember a party? Answer, that's right. She also told the committee staff that you told her that she should tell the committee the truth. And after your meeting, an investigator working for you called her and asked her a series of additional questions. Your meeting took place 2 days after the committee staff made a simple request for your former nanny's name, and then it took 24 hours after your meeting for your attorneys to provide her name to the Republican and Democratic staffs. And that's why I'm puzzled about this. What was it your idea? Was it your idea to meet with her before forwarding her name to us, or did someone suggest that to you?
Mr. Chairman, I believe that just like through this whole hearings, I was doing you all a favor by finding a nanny that was supposedly came in question.
Well, you might have been trying to do us a favor, but who told you should invite her to your house that you haven't seen her in all those years?
Chairman, this is unfair. What his lawyers tell him is unfair to me.
Okay, well, I accept that. I accept that. I accept that. Well, gentlemen, please be seated. Was it your idea? That's the appropriate. Was it your idea?
It was my idea to investigate what witnesses know.
Okay.
Like any other lawyer in the free world does.
Did you think, Mr. Clemens, it was a good idea to invite her to your home on Sunday after not seeing her for 7 years?
I'm sorry?
Did you think it was a good idea to invite her to your home after you hadn't seen her for 7 years?
I was told on Friday night to see if we could locate the nanny. We'll leave. Obviously, it's very nice. I don't think that she needs any publicity, but I was told on Friday night that you guys may want to talk to her, and so.
And you felt you should talk to her first. Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's anything improper in this.
Mr. Chairman, I ain't talked to her in years, and I did everything I could to locate her. If you guys had any questions for her, and I did tell her to answer truthfully. Again, I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know if there's anything improper in this, but I do know it sure raises an appearance of impropriety. The impression it leaves is terrible. The right way to have handled this would have been to give the committee information immediately, to not have your people interview the nanny before we did, and certainly for you not to personally talk to her about the interview as you did. One option for you was to have given the committee the nanny's contact information and had no contact with her. Another option could have been to give her a heads up that the committee would be calling her. But you chose, I think, the worst approach. That's my opinion. You invited her to your home. You had a specific conversation about whether you were at Mr. Canseco's house, and you did this before you gave the committee her contact information.
Mr. Chairman,
is there anything else you want to add?
In all due respect, this is nothing but innuendo. Your committee asked on Friday evening for this information. We have done everything to give you that information in a fast and in a thorough manner. The innuendo is terrible, and I spoke to your own staff member who's speaking with you now. And your statement and I have the highest respect for the chairman, is calculated to do nothing but to have innuendo against this man. We have cooperated
well, I understand
with the fully, as your own
gentlemen,
staff
as I indicated, the rules do not allow the lawyers to speak, but I did not cut you off.
Thank you.
This action means there's always going to be a question whether you try to influence her testimony. And I gather
Mr.
your lawyer thinks that's
Mr. Chairman, I was doing y'all a favor, and as far as I was concerned, I haven't seen this lady in a long time. She's a sweet lady, and I wanted her to get her to you as quick as possible if you had any questions for her. Again, I'm hurt by those statements that I would get in the way of finding anything that you guys were looking for. I'm hurt by that statement.
We asked her to come be brought to the house.
The gentleman is not going to be recognized. My time is up.